morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Sorry. There we go. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Kanipo Makwa, Standing Bear Soda, Tri Fishing Lake First Nation, Saskatchewan, Canada, Treaty 4 Territory, Anishinaabe, published author, 60 scoop survivor, United States swimming national champion, and welcome to We Are the Medicine Circle, which really implies that we are the Medicine Circle. We gather here in the virtual circle and we just have a good time. That's really what that means. We talk about all these cool things, the spiritual things. We really connect to life. We laugh, we cry, we carry on, and we just connect in a really good and beautiful way. And we are just a group of people that normally wouldn't mix in the colonial world, but here we found a way to absolutely come together and to sit here and to pray together and to learn to love each other, right? Learn to love, and that's what, that was a question. We're going to cover a lot of questions today because I just felt like yesterday I was looking at all these questions and then I said, well, kind of feeling a little bit far behind now, so I just want so we'll cover a bunch of questions today. So one of the most important things that we say all day is, if nobody said that they love you today, I love you very much, which really means that I don't want anything from you, but I want everything for you. You see, it's that means connected to all these beautiful things, that bring us life. That's air, water, fire, earth, beginning with those, and the spirits, and all life, and that's really just a beautiful thing, that's that's a whole different conversation than where we come from, the colonial world. It's a completely different conversation, and it just feels better over here. It feels better, like okay, you want the best for me. I like that, right? I like that. So anyway, okay, so a couple of the housekeeping notes, connections. If there is a lag and this is mainly for the Facebookers, we're coming off two platforms. So if you see me looking back and forth, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing this, and so so if there's a lag in the Facebook thing here, the connection audio like that, just know that I'm going to hit that play button and we're going to come right back to it. Also on Facebook this morning, it does not allow me to tag anyone anymore. At least I'm under house arrest. Or so I spent about 10 minutes trying to tag everybody, and it wouldn't allow me to do it, so I just hit that live button anyway, so that's why. So for next week, there's going to be no tag notifications that you're here. So that's that. Also, again, we're coming off YouTube. So a couple of you, if you want to go over to YouTube, that's fine. It's the same live. And also, it's a library over there, what we do. So if you miss what we hear, you don't have to scroll through like a million posts. You can go right over to Standing Bear, the author. YouTube channel. That's my channel, and there's a library about every single thing that we've ever talked about here. It is stored over there. So that's pretty cool. You know, that's pretty cool. So also, we are going to go over today. I finally heard I got enough messages that say, hey, look, can you please tell us what the reading is earlier? And I go, yeah, absolutely. So, Daily Medicine, July 23rd today. So that's what we're going over today. So you can begin to look at that. Okay. All right, so let's begin in a good and beautiful way here. Again, if we can ask for a couple volunteers to keep this smudge going throughout the entire circle, please and thank you. Remembering this is remember there's a grandmother out in BC that had requested we keep the smoke going throughout the entire morning meditation. So just give me a little heart, give me a little thumbs up if you can kind of keep this smoke going throughout, please. And thank you for that. And all right, so let us okay, all right, so let us begin. Let's begin in a good and beautiful way. Again, the old ones say if it doesn't begin with prayer, then it doesn't begin. If it doesn't begin with offering, then it doesn't begin. If it doesn't begin with spirit, then it doesn't begin. If you would like to offer with us, that would be good. And then, to all my relations, Kitchi Manitou, Great Spirit, Creator, Great Mystery, Chi Megwich for our breath, Chi Megwich for our life, Chi Megwich for our circle, Chi Megwich for our day. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We are grateful for our last breath, and we are hopeful for our next, and we live in that place in between. We come here in circle. We mean no harm in what we do. We come here in a good way, humble way, and sacred way. We come here to listen to those beautiful things, to feel those beautiful things around us. The first reason why we come here, though, and there could be many more after, is life. And not just our life, because that would be selfish. We come here to be selfless. We come here and we celebrate all life as if it was a part of ours, because it already is. We come here to celebrate all nations, tribes, and circles, especially those nations, tribes, and circles that do not look like the two-legged, like the standing nations, the ones that offer the world breath. We say thank you. To the swimming nations, the ones who teach us how to live in harmony and balance with the water, we say thank you. To the winged nations, the ones who teach us how to live in harmony and balance with the wind and air, we say thank you. To the creepy crawlers and the slitheries and the insect nations, the ones who teach us how to stay close and grounded to Mother Earth, we say thank you. To the four-legged nations, circles, and tribes, all four-legged nations, circles, and tribes, we understand that you offer us and teach us so much to and for our humanity, we say thank you. And of course, to all two-legged nations, circles, and tribes, we understand that you are our teachers as well. This makes our ears and our hearts very happy. We come here and we celebrate those things that give us life, air, water, fire, earth. We celebrate the 7 directions because we know that love and light and life come from all directions. We celebrate the ones who have come before us, our ancestors, and remember, if they are our relatives here, which all life is, then they are our ancestors over there. So the otters and the beavers and the panthers and the bears and the eagles and the hawks, they are all our relatives. They have 7 generations back too, and they have 7 generations ahead too. But they held truth. They held to their prayers, which they offered to us. They held true to life. They held true to their prayer. They lived according with spiritual law, and that's the prayer that they offer to us. And we also understand and acknowledge that some of our 2-legged ancestors were hurt, wounded, abused, and traumatized, and they passed that along to us. And we understand this is a time of grieving and sadness, mourning. But we also acknowledge this is a time for healing. And we also acknowledge if it's a time for healing, it's a time, it's okay not to be okay during this process, because we know healing's a process. And we know sometimes during that process, we will realize that their hurts and wounds that they gave to us were not for us to carry, but for us to heal. And not just for ourselves, but for the future 7 generations. For we only borrow this earth from our children, and our children are only loaned to us. So we live at the intersection between 2 beautiful, unseen worlds, powerful worlds, worlds that give us life and love. What a great time to break the cycle, to break the chains, to break the isms, the alcohol and drug isms and the violence isms. What a great time, what a great space, what a great opportunity it is today. It doesn't have to be the way it's always been. We can come here and change and offer a better life for us in the next 7 generations, in the next seven generations. So thank you, Creator, for this time and for this opportunity to come here in such a beautiful and sacred way. And the ancestors, when we come here for a little bit, we realize that there's a trail to follow. But we can only see it with our hearts, and that means we see it with beautiful intent to heal. That means we cannot see it with our wounded eyes, but we can see it with that beautiful prayer and say, I want to heal today. Then that beautiful place, that beautiful path, these beautiful people appear. Aids and guides and helpers, assistants, come in all different shapes and forms, both seen and unseen, spiritual and physical. We can't see them if we're not ready, but they will always be ready when we are ready to heal. And on this road are some beautiful, beautiful truths. Beautiful teachings. Humility, truth, love, wisdom, honesty, respect, and courage. These are the 7 sacred laws that the ancestors gave to us. And when we sit with these laws, they will build a beautiful foundation for us to live a beautiful life. Connected to all life. We will see the truth, and we will see the healing, and we will offer both of these to the next 7 generations. And we feel in our hearts the first prayer at the center of the universe. The first prayer at the first fire, the first song, and the first dance at the center of the universe. Harmony and balance. And we will understand this together as we grow together on this this red road, the road of wellness, the road of all people, the road of unity, the road of harmony and balance. We as indigenous people, we do not own the red road. We are stewards of the red road, and we offer this time and this place and these teachings and these healings to everyone. Because if you are here, Creator has chosen you. If these words are coming to your ears, Creator has chosen to come here and to listen and to heal and to grow and to know that we are all brothers and sisters. All right. All right. All right, well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are worldwide, by the way. We have people in Australia, South Africa, and Europe, Asia, and all these beautiful places. And so we'd like to acknowledge that. I think that's pretty cool, right? I think it's pretty cool. You know, starting as humbly as we did, and now here we are. So once again, my name is Kenny Poet Makwa, Standing Bear. Saulteaux Tribe, Fishing Lake First Nation, Saskatchewan, Canada, Treaty 4 Territory, the Anishinaabe. We've had a lot of new people here, so that's why we kind of go over that a little bit. Okay, so a couple things. We're going to run over, just so you know, it's Sunday, and so I thought it was a good time to we're going to, you guys come up with some really, really good questions, but before we get to that, a couple things before we go over hollow bones. We'd love to hear your definition of hollow bones. We know there's a life force out there. We connect to that life force. The opening prayer, that was a hollow bones prayer. So that was a question too. Well, what is a hollow bone? Well, that's connection to all life, and that's prayer offering. Is that spiritual connection that begins that journey and the red road. So we are also walking on the red road right now. So yeah, they're the same thing, right? Yeah, you know, it looks a little different, sounds a little, just a slight difference, but it's all the same thing. So, hollow bones, connection to all life. We know there's a life force out there, like sunrise, the birds, the rivers, you know, all these things carry a beautiful, magical piece of us, right? And we're going to talk about that today in the reading. I talked about the reading, right? I think I did. So, okay, the reading today when we talk about that. So the readings are all hollow bones readings, right? There's seven sacred law teachings, meditations. So we sit with them, we pray with them, and then that beautiful thing happens. And that beautiful thing happens is this beautiful alignment. So as we are colonial refugees. There's no way around that. So we are all colonial refugees, whether we come from some sort of religious or some sort of something that chaotic mess that they offer, that separation, that adversity, that adversarial, that hate, that hate-filled rhetoric that they always talk about, the wars and more and greed and all this stuff that really. And over here, it is completely the opposite. We talk about love, we talk about unity, we talk about sharing the medicine, we talk about all these beautiful things, and that's the hollow bones right there. That's beautiful, right? That is the hollow bones right there. So, okay, and for me, it's really important that I kind of mix up that the hollow bones. It's not really a definition. It's really a way of life, right? When you can write that down too. So it's really hard to. It's so dynamic, so powerful, so big that it's hard to put it all in like one little sentence, right? So, okay, and we get this from the ancestors. So yes, our elders and our ancestors. This is a place of gratitude, by the way. So we're so grateful for the ones who have come before us, right? So we can offer this to the ones that come after us. So we are part of this beautiful circle of life, this flow of life, which is the hollow bones. And so part of being the hollow bones is gratitude for the ancestors, the ones who have come before us. And remember, we have to get out of that colonial mindset that our ancestors are only the two-legged, because they're not. That's like looking through life through like one of these, which is what they teach all the time. It's just like, oh yeah, there's an ancestor right It's kind of like no, but then, what we realize is it's the eagles and the bears and the bee, and then we're looking around like, wow, this is real, wow, this is like amazing, right? A breath of fresh air. Like if you feel that, like, oh my God, these are like the bears are part of my, and that's not self-serving, by the way. Okay, the eagles. Okay, the otter, the panther. Like all these beautiful men, they are already a part of us. And when we realize that, there's there's medicine, there's calmness. There's a place of belonging, that place of sadness and depression and loneliness. They just aren't there, right? They're just not there, right? They're just not there because we realize that our life is so much more important than just ourselves. It's really about relating, connecting to all those who have come before us. That's our truth. And we're going to talk a little bit about that later. So thank you to Grandfather Tony Stonehawk, my direct elder. It's really important that I mention him. Been with him for 30 years. He is Lenny Lenape out of Delaware. Um, I am Saulteaux First Nations out of Treaty 4 and Anishinaabe. So I'm 60 scoops. And I was like, well, how come it's like that? So I'm a 60 scoop, which means they stole me, and I ended up in the States, and then I found him 30 years ago. So that's the short story of it. Okay, circle medicine. Okay, here we go. This is like such a, and like the grandmothers taught me this, right? So this is not a bearism. So for the YouTubers over there, this is all of us over in YouTube land, and this is all of us over in Facebook. Facebook right here. We are all intertwined and overlapping, and what a beautiful thing that is. So seen and unseen. So the beavers, the bears, the otters, the eagles. This is all of us, right? This is all of us right here, right? That's all of us. That's the ancestors. That's the next seven generations. This is all of us, right? You know. Okay, sacred feminine. Um, the life givers. Sacred, powerful. You are beautiful. You are enough. And that's where the conversation begins. And let's just pray about that. Right? There was a comment the other day, but what if they drink? What if they do drugs? But no. Okay, we just say no, thank you to that. We realize that we're all at a level of healing, right? But we have to acknowledge at some level, and a beautiful, powerful level, that the life giver is beautiful, powerful, and sacred. Right? We have to acknowledge that, and there's no buts after that, right? And those of us who are on that healing process, and we all are. I don't care if you've been here for 30 years or 30 seconds or took a drink 3 seconds ago. I don't care. We're all here. And the thing about equality, there's no buts. Here, write this down. The thing about equality is there's no buts after it. There's no buts. Wayne, but you made a mistake. But no. We're all here growing, healing, and loving each other. Okay, but so and so was in jail. But he's blah blah blah. He has all these charges. Blah blah blah. No, but okay. No, so the circle medicine is understanding equality no matter what, right? And we're all at a different level of healing. We have to understand that, right? No. And we're gonna have a question about that too. We're gonna knock out a bunch of questions today because because you guys, because it kind of ebbs and flows. Like some days there's a couple good questions, but I can only do 1 or 2 a day, right? So, but these ones that I picked today, they're really pertinent. One came in an hour ago, so and I'm not sure if she's on here. So she told me to tag her, but I can't tag. I'm in like Facebook jail for like another 6 days. So, okay, question of the day. Okay, we're going to cover a bunch of questions today. Please keep your questions, concerns, and comments coming. I do not guarantee that I will get around to all of them, but I will do as many as I can. And this one here, we've been on this like recovery thing for like a little bit now, and I love it, man. Recovery, and what we mean is through active addiction, drugs and alcohol type thing. Please keep your, and this is a friend of the question yesterday, and so she popped on, and so that's great that you're networking what we are doing here. I really encourage that because this is really for everybody, right? This recovery thing. So, what is the difference between uh, contrast? Oh yeah, what is the difference between contrast medicine you talk about and comparison? Wow. Okay, because there was a little back and forth like you talked about this, but really, what is that? Okay, the first thing is, and really the only thing is, you know, uh, you know, good, bad, good and bad, right? Healthy discernment, right? That's that's contrast medicine, and we know that there's contrast medicine there. And here's my story with, here's the way I learned with, back, I was walking the red road, 27 years ago. I thought I knew something. I've been around 3 years, so of course I know everything, right? So I'm sitting there, maybe like maybe more than that, maybe 5 years. So, like I'm Vince here, I'm still clumsy on my walk, still making mistakes, but I thought I knew something, and that's part of my journey, right? Thinking that I know something, right? So so Grandpa Tony, we were doing something, setting up the fire. He would talk, we always talk about spiritual stuff around the fire, just building, cleaning it up, and we'd always like talk about these spirits. It was great. It was the greatest times of my life sitting with Grandfather Tony. So like he was talking about like I think he said contrast medicine. I'm like, Tony, it's all about the love, Tony. There is no contrast medicine, right? And he goes night and day, and I'm like, okay, I'll shut up. Okay, I know when to shut up, and this is a really good time to shut up. So, so we have to really be careful about labeling things good and bad, evil. You know, like it's that thing. Like if we make a mistake, then we're bad people, right? No, right? No, right? Comparison is we just don't do. So we use healthy contrast medicine, which is just discernment, right? So my South American brothers and sisters, they talk about this a lot, right? Like it's not evil, it's just heavy, right? It's heavy, right? So it's heavy. So then some people have heavier energy and some people have lighter energy, right? So it's really so. Uh, but comparison, that's a real slippery slope, man. Something that I don't want to really even like I used to do that a lot, right? Well, because comparison sounds a lot like judgment and opinions, right? And it's a lot easier to develop those judgments when I'm comparing, right? Right. But when we have a different conversation, like just, hey, look, this is more about alignment, and this is a little heavier, and this is a little darker, so it keeps us away from that slippery slope, right? And there's people of ego that love to do comparison. There's a lot of spiritual people out there that use the comparison, and I'm just like, I don't know about that. Doesn't really work for me, right? Because it really develops like sides, right? Okay, well that's over there, and then I'm over here, and then it's kind of like that. So something that we really have to be careful with. So just say, just here, write this down. So let's just talk about in terms of alignment, right? Some are a little less aligned with the light, and some are a little, you know, like that. And so, in fact, we're going to talk about that right now. Let's talk about this. So, how do we know? And this is also a recovery kind of coming from that angle question. How do we know if we are healed? And this person is really new in recovery, right? So let's and so again so the preamble, we need a preamble now for these questions. The preamble always is gentleness, compassion, kindness, right? So write that down, right? So gentleness, compassion, kindness, right? That's just the fact is once we say it, there's already like an alignment there because it's a beautiful intention, right? So So this person is new in recovery, new to the red road, right? So what they want to know, you know, how do we know if we're healed? That's a great question, right? That's a great question, and right, that's a great question. Okay, so the first, like because we're coming from a recovery-based kind of background and question, that's where they're coming from. Let's talk about behaviors, right? Let's talk about, you know, are we still doing those negative, heavy behaviors like actively using, right? Right. Those self-soothing behaviors, right? Like, are we still drinking, or are we still doing something like that? Well, okay. So maybe we're not doing that anymore, right? Okay. So it doesn't mean that. And so not drinking and not drugging is usually it is the first step, right? So we have to remove that substance out of our body. All right. So we can all agree on that, right? So, and then. And then there's some work to be done. There's a price that has to be paid. Like, so I talk about it all the time. Like, if we're in a 12-step program, we have to do the work of the 12 steps. We just have to do it. Like, don't, you know, um, you know, because it's a practice write this down. It's a practice in patience. It's a practice in preparation. It's a practice in kindness. It's a practice in gentleness. It's a practice in, the truth. And again, we're going to talk about that today in the reading today, right? So, and like the other, and kind of do this further. So, like the other thing is like how do we feel, right? Right? What are we saying? How are we feeling? How are we treating others, right? Are we treating others with courteous, respect, kindness? Okay, then we're probably doing a pretty good job. Are we treating people selfishly, right? Wanting some things, putting our needs above all others, right? 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 Just because we stopped drinking doesn't mean we started recovery right that time, right? Like if we're still doing these behaviors, then that's something that we got to look at, right? Right? And so kind of going through this. Okay, and here's and this is from, like, there's a group of people, I think they're out of Oklahoma, I think. So the third question is, and it kind of squeezes all in. The third question is, what did you do to change? Like what's one thing that you did that made you the person who you are? So this is like coming from becoming like a sponsor type kind of deal with a bunch of and that's kind of the setup. That's like the backstory to this. So okay, so another great question, and I don't usually take personal questions, but I'm happy to do this, and it's really what we talk about all the time anyway. So it's just, one thing. I got really sick and tired of being sick and tired. I've been around long enough to know and to see, to hear, to feel people recovering and people being happy, right? And I'm spanning the 30 years of the Red Road, which is also including, my upbringing, which is really where my recovery started. My recovery started the day I was born, right? And I don't mean to sound that as funny, but it's like they stole me the day of my birth. So my wounds, like that's when my wounds were. So that's when, the first wound is when we start to recover. So that's what I mean by that. So then I went into foster, orphanage, foster care, whatever happened there. Some really bad things happened there, and then I was adopted by a family. I didn't know what a family was, and then like I was supposed to be like something, yeah, and I just couldn't be what the colonial world wanted me to be, and I was holding in all this stuff and all these wounds. I couldn't tell my truth, because if I told my, like I was just a mess, right? And then outwardly, then I started to do all these behaviors, self-soothing behaviors, drinking, whatever, and everything. I mean, I was a garbage can, so I did everything I could as much as I could, right? So, you know, so, that's the backstory. So now, and I think my first rehab, I think I was like 17, 16, 17. You know, that's it was in the 80s. So, but getting back to the question, what? So that's the backstory. So what did I? I had to be, um, I had to be spiritually aggressive, right? Like I had to do some things that I didn't want to do, and you know at that time, and I still hold on to that. But now those things, now like I want to do this thing, like I want to go to still meetings of recovery. I still do these recovery things because I know the benefits of them. You know, there's people out there that are doing this process that don't understand the benefits and not seeing the results, and so you know. Um, there was there was a swim coach that I had. I went to the Petty School in Hudson, New Jersey, which is a high-powered. Um, it was an elite school, swimming school, private school, uh, and there was a coach there named Chris Martin. He was a big, he was huge. He was this big black guy, right? He was just like a monster of a guy, you know. And he talked about this thing. It's like really the only lesson that I learned from, because I didn't like the guy. I thought he was ego and arrogant. I thought he was all that. So, but there was some good out of it, right? And it took me a minute in my recovery to find the good out of it. And he talked about this thing called the siege mentality. Right? You know, it's kind of like back in like the European days, there'd be a siege on a castle or a town or something like that, and you know, like a relentless surge, right? You know, and I found that, and I've used that over my lifetime, right? That idea that I had to be spiritually aggressive. That means that I had to put some skin in the game, and I had to consistently put in some skin in the game, whether I wanted to or liked it or not, right? So that means going to a meeting, and that means telling the truth. That means, you know, and again, we're going to talk about that during, okay, man, we really got to hurry. So that siege mentality, and I'm going to close with this. It's just kind of like, you know, and this works, you know, we can't be passive and expect results, right? We you know, showing up is one thing, doing the work is you know, completely like another thing, right? You know, we have to do the work, we have to put some skin in the game, right? The greatest line in any spiritual book I have ever written, I have ever read or written, is in the AA Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. It says a price has to be paid, right? A price has to be paid. That is the greatest. That sums up this whole conversation. A price has to be paid, and it has to be paid daily. Like if I want to recover, it has to be paid daily. This is not just like come here and hang out and have fun and sit in the sun. That's part of it, but you know, we have to show up, we have to offer, we have to pray, we have to do all these things, right? People show up here and they feel spiritual, and then they try to carry that, but there's no really work behind it to really carry ourselves, right? So, okay, so let's get down to it and do it. July 23rd. What we're going to do here is we're going to read it a couple of times, develop a genuine impression, and then that's just a starting point. So we're all over the map here. We got a couple people over there on YouTube. We've got a bunch of people over here on Facebook. So this is what we do. So let's put July, and I'm not sure if we put Daily Medicine July 23rd in the feed or not. July 23rd here. Okay. Okay, so we're going to read it a couple times, develop a general impression. That's just a starting point. It's not a finish point, right? So, and it's really important that we understand that, because the magic is we will all grow together. That's the magic right there. Okay, there is only one language that can heal spiritual disease: the truth. That's what we've been talking about all morning. That's it. That sums it up right there. That sums it. That every question. That's you know, What's the difference to truth? That's the difference. You know, what's the difference? Like, how do we know until we understand it and see the truth, right? Like, how do we get well and maintain? Well, we walk with the truth, right? There's only one language that can heal spiritual disease: the truth. Wow. Okay. That's really powerful, and it's, you know, that's pretty in your face right now. Right. Let's be really clear. That's in your face right now. It's telling us. And so sometimes it's not beating around the bush. It's just like, oh, all right. So what is that? What does it look like? What's it feel like? Sound like? All this. We're going to cover that. So there's only circle only, and then circle one, and then circle them together. Right. That's really significant. That's a powerful. That's so spirit. The great spirit is telling us only one. Right. Only one. Right. And don't worry, like, we're going to break this down, right? We're going to break it down in really good way. So, okay, one language. Okay. And it's not English. It happens to be English here because that's what we're speaking about, but the truth that we're talking about is so much bigger, broader, powerful. And then just the English, like if you're thinking spoken language, written language, that's about 1% true, right? Right, but it's so much deeper and more powerful, has so much more weight than just the English language. In fact, the English language is a really, really poor language because we can manipulate with it, right? So like a language that connects us to spirit, and then there's a language that can manipulate. That means it has multiple meanings and spellings and all. It's just a terrible language, right? It's a terrible, terrible language, right? So, okay. What do they mean by language? Let's just break that down again. What has language? Does Mother Earth have a language? Absolutely. Right? Does Mother Earth speak the truth? Absolutely. Does Mother Earth live the truth? Absolutely. Right? Right. Language. Not all language is spoken. Right? But all language speak, right? That's a big deal, right? And if we're not spiritually aware, and if we're sitting here waiting for Mother Nature to speak English to us, then I think you'll be waiting a really long time, right? But there's other feelings and emotions, right? When we walk with Mother Earth, right, it feels good. That's a language. Feeling good is a language, right? Feeling genuinely healthy, good, righteous, right? And what that is connection and alignment. Write that down. The connection, and the language of connection and alignment, which is something that colonial world is trying its best to keep us away from, right? Well, over here in the spiritual world, we understand this beautiful language, the power that comes from the language of the unspoken and the unseen, right? Beautiful and powerful. Just right? Write this down. Write this stuff down. Right. There's only one language that can. Oh, okay. So we understand that there's a language there, right? Right. Different language. The birds have a language. The water, the turtles, the fish. They all. The fire has a language also itself. The water has a language also. So we understand, right? Right. Write that down. All these medicines have their own language. Write that down. I mean, I could do a whole hour just on that, right? All this. And you know what? They all share that same language. And the same language is, we're going to find the truth, but it all sounds and looks a little different. Okay. You see how big and beautiful this got? Just hang with me. Okay. That can heal. Okay, let's go to spiritual disease. That can, no. Let's go to heal. Okay, to become healthy. All right, write aligned next to it. Comes connection and aligned, right? Always, because that's what we're doing here. That's a language right now. Like connection and aligned equals a language. that Mother Earth, nature, the spiritual laws, they all speak the medicine wheel, the truth, like wisdom, love. They all speak this language. This all gets us there, helping us get there. And these are assistants to get us there. Heal, show alignment, spiritual disease. We all know, well, okay, hopefully we all know what spiritual disease is. You know, the colonial world is one big spiritual disease. Right. Their religions are all one big spiritual disease. Right. Right. Anything that creates separation. Right. Like if a religion says we are the chosen people, stay away. That's a really bad thing, right? Like if you eat this cracker, then you are one of the chosen ones, and you will be saved. Right? That's a disease statement right there, because it's not about the circle. It's not about the health of the circle. It's about the breakup of the circle. Right. Right. Believe in a Messiah or anything like that, some sort of patriarchal, that's a disease, man. That will always keep us in separation, right? Right. And that is just terrible for the spirit, right? And so that whole colonial world, aside from, their patriarchal, religions, right? Right. Adversarial, right, wrong, good and bad, right? Like in America, if we're not hating on someone, then we're un-American. That's it, right? That's the deal. So the whole system, and this is just healthy discernment, right? So basically, what we can say here now is no, thank you. Okay, I choose to live and pray another way, right? We can live in that system, but not engage in it. All we simply say is no, thank you, and no, thank you is a beautiful language unto ourselves. Right? That's a beautiful, powerful language which we in the spiritual realms, which we understand really well. We just say no, thank you, man. Just hey, good, man. Hey, the circus, man. No, thank you to like the circus, right? So we come here in a good and beautiful way. Okay, so okay. All right. That can heal. What is healing? What even is that? Like, how can we start that? Right? We're jumping back a little bit. Okay. The process of healing, right? We talk about it all the time. Is the first language. The first form of communication is listening. Yes. Listening, right. So we listen from all five senses, right. That's the physical, right. That's the physical. What would be the spiritual? Okay. Okay, so everything begins with the spirit, right. So we know that. So we physically have to go in the morning to face east and say thank you and gratitude and offer, right? That's a great prayer to start off. That's like if you're starting a starting point, that would be a really good place to start. If it doesn't start out with gratitude, then it doesn't really start, right? Because it's not really starting out with humility, and both are part of what the truth, the language of the truth, the language of healing. And if we don't engage in that, then we will never know that, right? Have those good. Like, how do we know if we're healed? Well, we feel good, right? So this morning I walked out because I'm still in my healing process. I understand that, and I'm good with that, right? I've been around for 30 years. I've been around for 52 years. Stumbling blocks, and early in my recovery and early in my walk. I get that, right? But I'm still in my healing process, right? I still understand that, know that, and I treat it like what the siege mentality. Like I come here, I want to stay here, and before I started doing these things, I didn't stay here, which means I relapsed. It means I relapsed spiritually. I got angry, frustrated, all this, and eventually I forgot this place called humility, and then I forgot this place called gratitude, and then that's a spiritual starting blocks for healing, maintaining my healing. And if I'm not there, then I will always, and like, here's my truth. Here's my truth. Like, if I don't start there, then I will always stumble to the old version of Wayne, of Standing Bear. And the old version of Standing Bear is sick, alone, tired, scared, lonely, fearful. And if I'm there too long, then I'll always drink again. That's just the way it is, right? That's just, and do other things too. That's it. So I'm very aware, I'm hyper aware. There's an awareness there that I need to do certain things. And the beautiful thing is, I've been around long enough to know that when I do these things, I feel good. Right? I feel really good. Right? Like coming here, sitting with you, I feel really good. I feel just like, wow. I feel there's a beautiful flow. I feel the hollow bones. I feel the love. I feel the love of the ancestors here. I really do. And I love sharing that with you, right? And it's part of my prayer to make this next 7 generations bigger because because I really don't want what happened to me to happen to my future relatives and or ancestors, right? So we come here don't for ourselves, but we are changing the course of humanity, and that feels really good, right? Right. But that begins with offering, well, with gratitude, with offering, with listening, right? Those are the preamble type things, right? Right. Those aren't the ending. These are the preamble type things. So we heal these spiritual diseases, and then let's get down to it. The truth. This is why we're here. Write this down. This is why we're here. The truth is one of the 7 sacred. Truth is a turtle, right? Turtle, Mother Earth. So there's a relationship. That's there. That's the truth, right? We are related to Mother Earth. We are human. We are related to Mother Earth. That's the truth, right? That's the truth. Right? We're not a religion. We're just not. That's like the worst thing that can ever happen to us, right? Because it creates a place of division, right? Right? If it creates division, then it doesn't serve humanity, right? It doesn't serve the whole. It serves the one, right? We're here to serve the whole, right? Right? And it's not to say that we can't have it. And I heard when he said, well, what about culture? Well, culture, right? Yeah, enjoy your culture, enjoy your heritage. I'm not saying that, I'm saying we're all human. That's what I'm saying, right? And it looks a little different, just like we have just as we have individual medicines, so does different cultures and groups, right? So does we have a very beautiful, powerful culture and heritage that we are here offering the world. Grandfather Tony has beautiful, powerful medicine that he is offering the world, right? Right. So sameness, religions get confused with oneness and sameness, and that's the confusion. Well, really, it's once we sit here in spiritual realms that we know our uniqueness makes us special and powerful, right? And we all have something to offer the world, right? We're not rubber stamped, right? We can't memorize passages. That would be ridiculous. Like if we were all one religion and just stand with, we were rubber stamping ourselves. That's like something from the colonial mindset, and something even worse than a patriarchal thing, because so they're up here, we're down here, and then we're begging for something right there. We're not here to beg, right? We're here to do. We're here to do that siege mentality, to understand, to absolutely walk with the truth. That's why we are here. So we're not begging for the truth, like we're not some religious cult begging for the truth. No, we're here to walk with the truth. We're here to connect to that truth, align with the truth. The truth is Mother Earth. That's the truth, right? Yeah. That's the truth. The truth is the water, right? And in that individual, Mother Earth has many other medicines just like us, right? So we mirror each other, right? That's the beauty, that's the power, that's the magic. So we all have something to offer. I love you. We all have something beautiful to offer. We all have value, right? We all have counsel, right? And the counsel is the circle of life, the sacred hoop. That will never go away, right? But we have to understand the whole circle is there to help us, and we are to support that. The sacred hoop. That is the truth. So let's kind of went off like that again. But maybe we should get back to the reading. Let me get back to the truth. 1 of 7, right? So write this down. We can't have the truth. We can't understand the truth without humility. Let's just start there. We can't do it. We can't do it. Again, contrast medicine, those religions out there, they don't have any humility. They just don't. Right? You have to believe in us. There's no humility there. Right? We're here to save you. Well, there's no humility there. Right? You have to believe in the Messiah. Okay. You have to believe in these proverbs. Okay, no, no. If it's not aligned with Mother Earth, that's the thing. Write this down. It has to be aligned with Mother Earth, right? It has to be about the all, not just the one group, the group within the group, which is really religion, right? It has nothing to do with that, right? You know? And it's not to say that we don't love them. We love them. That's the thing, because there's going to be people here that see this here, this read this, and say, well, obviously Wayne hates us, right? Well, no, I love you. I do. Just like the drug addict, right? The one who's still drinking, like if you're still eating the cracker, he's creating that separation. That's all it is, right? But my job is here to love you with absolute humility, right? And the fact is that the truth is that we are Mother Earth, that we are all equal, that we are all brothers and sisters. How about that, right? Religion doesn't change that. No, it doesn't change that. It just doesn't, right? So, okay, so 1 of 7. Okay, so here we go. 1 of 7. The truth is one of the 7 sacred laws. So, humility, truth, love, wisdom, honesty, respect. We can't know the truth until what? We don't understand the truth until we know all its relatives, right? The sister, the brother of truth is humility, right? Right. My people have been slaughtered by the Catholics and the Christians, right? But we are here. We are here saying that you are our brothers and sisters. That's the truth. I would rather walk with that truth than live in a place of hate. Right? I would rather. That's my truth. That is the truth. Right? That's the truth. Right? And you traditionalists out there, you may not like that, but that's the deal. Right? That's the deal. Otherwise, we're looking at it, it's very in your face. And, like if we can't look at that, can't see that, then we have some sort of spiritual disease like that prevents us from loving, right? From loving, right? And it goes to our abusers too, right? We understand that, but what do? We pray for those, and not just pray for some, right? So now there's accountability. There's responsibility, and there's consequences. So it took me a long, and we understand that healing is a process. It's okay not to be okay, right? There's people that beat me to almost to extinction, right? And that's what happened to me, right? They all of a sudden, just imagine which way they did that. That's what they did, right? And now I said, Grandfather Tony. And there was a time in my life where I wanted to hunt them down, right? I wanted to hunt them down, right? And then I got to Grandfather Tony and said, well, we have to pray for these people, right? And so that's what I did. Like that was my truth, right? That was my truth. I didn't want to do it. It didn't feel good. I had a lot of hate in my heart. I had a lot of hate for, like the Catholic Church, the Catholic people, the white men, the people that did that to me when I was 7 years old. I had a lot of hate, I did, the people that sold me. I had a lot of hate toward the Snellgroves, right, for buying me, right? They wanted to love me, man, but there was a part of me that just wanted to say, how could you be part of this like human trafficking thing? How dare but they didn't know. They wanted to love me, right? But it took me prayer and patience to get there. I defined this beautiful truth out myself, right? That's the journey, right? That's your journey. If you're listening to this, this is your journey, right? We have to pray for the people that hurt us, that wounded us, that abuse. That's it, right? That's it. So everything we want for ourselves, light, love, all these beautiful things, right? That's what we offer. And so when we pray for them and we offer it ourselves, then, the one who recovers, it may not be them, but it's guaranteed going to be me. Right? And that's the truth. That's spiritual. And I don't know what happened to my abusers. I don't know. Maybe they stopped. Maybe they recovered. Maybe they're not doing it anymore. Maybe they did. Maybe they died of junkie. I don't know. Maybe they died in jail. part of me hopes that they die in jail, right? Miserable death, right? But, you know, but I don't feel that way anymore, right? I just don't. Whichever way they ended, it's like the way they ended, right? That's just the deal, right? Okay, so we're talking about, the truth has a really big, beautiful family, right? And every one of, and we're talking specifically with the seven sacred laws, and the seven sacred laws, they are the truth, right? Right. And they go at and every segment part of the seven, they have their own unique language, right? Right. Right. They sound similar, but they're a little different, right? It's kind of like the turtle and the wolf, right? Well, they have four legs, they walk on Mother Earth, but they're looking a little different, right? The same thing, right? And this is not about who's better or who's right, right? Who's like, some people out there that they say, well, I carry on like the wolf medicine, right? That's like okay, but we should have good relations with all these, right? We're here to maintain good relations, right? And we have to understand that this beautiful thing called the truth, right? It looks and sounds a little different from every direction that we look. Life and love and light come from every direction, right? That's the truth, right? That's the truth. And here's some contrast medicine, there's some religions from the white robe that say, we are the way, the light, the truth, whatever that is. But we know in here in spiritual realms that that's false, because we know that light and love, love, light and love, they come from all directions. That's the deal, right? Right, right. And even in those patriarchal religions, it's sprinkled with some truth, right? Love thy neighbor. I think that's really beautiful, right? We take what's right. That's the truth. We take what's right, and we just say no thank you to the rest, right? Right, right. So and the truth is, it's really, so we're moving from the patriarchal, because we're patriarchal refugees, right? So now and we come from a begging, debt-riddled society, right? So now to an alignment. So we align ourselves with what? The truth, with the language. So we walk with, we sit with, we pray for, we understand. My life is significantly better now because I've aligned myself with certain truths, with certain elders, with the tree nation, with the water, with the beautiful sacred water, with the beautiful sacred feminine. I align myself with that self. And how do I know? Well, one thing, I'm here with you and I'm telling you that I love you and I don't want anything from you, right? And here's the other thing, I'm not drinking and drugging anymore. I'm not going to jail anymore. I'm not doing all these things that I used to happen to me. Those are the consequences. And again, accountability has a language too, right? 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 Consequences has a language, right? And we come from moral consequences, it's all bad. No, there's good consequences, right? When we walk with the truth, guess what happens? We're happy, right? We talk about it all the time. That's the beautiful consequences, right? Hey, look, I'm aligned, I'm happy, I can breathe, I can do these things, right? Let's talk about this, because this was a question that just came up 5 minutes before the line. It's like, well, like, how do you think? And this is a little bit in your face, and this was a little bit aggressive question, right? That's the way I took it. So, what is, well, now there's a sickness within me. Now there's things within me, that there's cysts and masses within me that shouldn't be there. What do you think's happening now, right? Right. What do you think you did to create this disease, right? Like a little bit in your face, right? Right? But I've been here for a minute, right? I know not to take it personally, right? I just don't. But, so here's like the other thing, right? So, could be cancerous. I don't know yet, right? I don't think it is, but maybe, I don't know, right? So now that like I went through that process of this, and I'm still going through it, right? there's a part of me that's really sad and lonely because I may not be here, right? In like next year, right? I may not be here, right? And that's on the radar. That's in the conversation. That's on the table, right? So here's like the thing. Here's the truth. Like, how do we look through the truth through this? Right. Here's my truth. Here's my belief. The sickness is leaving the body. That's, you know, the sickness is leaving the body. I'm doing something right, not because I got sick, because the sickness is now leaving the body. Right? It can no longer, my vessel can no longer hold that sickness, so it is creating a mass to just get rid of it. My body's doing the very best. That's the truth. The truth is that I'm not sick, it's that the sickness is leaving. That's the deal. You see, that's, you know. And sometimes we have to go through this process of having the sickness just leave. And this is not about like blame, shame, or guilt. And those people, it's going to happen, right? It's just going to, and I know it's going to happen. It's just like, well, there's something wrong with you. That's why you developed this sickness. And I've well, the sickness is leaving. So it's not coming, it's leaving, right? And just because we just found it doesn't mean that it's not on its way out. It's not on its way out, right? That's the truth. When we start living the truth, then we start speaking the truth, and the truth is that, I'm going to live through this thing, right? That's the truth, right? So, which is really important now, because now there's a little bit of, like, I was nervous, it made me scared, right? So now it's really important to align myself even more with that beautiful truth, right? So now's the time to align myself, to sit with, to have fun, to be happy, to align myself with those beautiful things, right? Right. And the fact is, and the real fact is, the truth is, I have more winners behind me than I do in front of me, right? Right. I've been here a long time. I've escaped, the claws and clutches of death, I don't know how many times, right? I don't know how many times, many at my own hand, many in my own hand. And now that so here, like, here's another thing that came through. This is part of my abundance. The sickness isn't anything more than part of my abundance, right? Right. That's how beauty represents itself, right? That's the beauty, right? All right, so we kind of run over. We actually ran over a little bit. Okay. All right. I don't know if I should do anything. Okay, we'll do a couple of announcements. I will be over in Germany in let's see here, about four. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In about 3 weeks. So to my European friends, it's not too late to sign up so we can sit in the circle together. I'm going to be over there in two places. I'm going to be over in Hungary, Sundeer. That's a festival that they bring all guys and women of meat together, men and women of medicine together. We just share, we share these beautiful things. So not too late for that. Also, me and Denise Miller, we have a journey through the seasons. It's the fourth of 4 journey through the season seminars, webinars, workshops. It's a 3-day intensive. Not too late to sign up for that. So if you're interested in that, please get with me or Denise Miller. Denise Miller is now over in Europe, by the way. I don't know if you know that. She's over in Europe. So we have a bunch of beautiful things happening, a bunch of healings and gatherings together. So please look for and sign up for those. Let's end with our imagination. I love this part. Let's end with beautiful imagination. End it up. Just use your mind and imagine those beautiful things. There's beautiful things around me. Imagine, whatever that is. The beautiful places of healing and happiness. Let's align ourselves with that. Just think about it. Just close your eyes. The final word is, this ceremony may end, but the ceremony in you does not end. So let's take what we live here, loves here, learns here, and listens to here, and take it out to the four winds. It's no good to be all spiritual here if we don't take it out there. So that means, and here's where I'm going to need your help. I can't tag anymore. I can't respond to any more messages here. So please share this to every group, to every individual. If you're in recovery, please share this. What we have done here, we are the Medicine Circle. Please share. I can't tag anyone. I can't respond to any messages anymore because I'm in Facebook jail. I'm a jailbird. So not only share it, hit that share button, but also this is the first place it should go, right here. Right. If it doesn't go here, then it won't go to our families, it won't go to our loved ones, it won't go to our communities, it won't go to our nation. So make sure it goes there. And that means we're supposed to be the peacemakers. We're supposed to bring serenity, love, and light, gentleness, and kindness to every place that we go, regardless if they bring it to us. My name is Kanipa with Makwa, Standing Bear, and if no one said that they love you today, I love you very much. Let's have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.